Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Jungleland 805 here on YouTube. I have a little bit of an interesting situation going on in my backyard. I have this dwarf umbrella plant, or Schefflera. It's native to Taiwan, and I have a few different varieties in my backyard. I planted them kind of close together, probably too close together for how big they were going to get. You can see one behind me here. It was a variegated variety and also the solid green. Well, the solid green has completely taken over. And if you look back there, you can see there is a bit of the variegated one growing behind the leaves of this one here. It's a beautiful plant, but it's been forced to grow up against the back wall and then off to the side. And as long as it stays in the back, it's not really going to be seen. So what I'm going to try to do today is trim away some of the pure green variety to allow some sunlight to get down to the variegated version so that it starts growing out towards my yard instead of off to one direction against the wall. So I'm going to hop up here onto the terrace and start taking these off to expose see the variegation back there? There's some right here. And there's also some coming up here. So I'm going to start chopping away on these to expose that. Use my pruners here. And let's see here. Let me take this one off. You can already start to see some of them here. Let's see. I think I'll also take this one off. These things grow really fast. I mean, I kind of feel bad chopping them because they do fill in this area nicely. But once I get the variegated stuff coming out here, I think it'll look better. It'll give it a little more variety and texture. Let's see here. You know what? I may as well go here too. So we're starting to get a little view of the variegated variety right here. Boy, I really planted these too close together. I guess maybe I just didn't have the vision, you know, that they would get this big eventually. But I'm kind of glad they did, tell you the truth. Let's see here. I guess I could take this one down too, since it's just growing out over the yard. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I see there's a whole twig of the, oh, there's two twigs. So let's see. Let's get this one more out of the way, and then I think I'll call it a day. I'll get this one last one. You see how far? Look at this. This thing is, I'll put it on the ground. I'm standing up on the terrace, which is about 2 feet at this point, and this thing is still taller than me. So that's how much it kind of grows out over the yard. But yeah, look at this. Nice variegated variety here. Now, it actually might be better since that's growing up tall. I think if I pruned it here, it's going to cause more side growth, which will fill in this area more. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to top this one right here. So let's do this. So, where'd you go? I mean, look at these. They fit perfectly in any tropical landscaping. Sometimes you got to remove the tip like I did with this one to cut down on those chemicals called auxins that grow in the tip here that inhibit side growth. So if you take the tip off like this, it's going to get you a much bushier looking plant. And it just comes down to pruning the growing tip off of the plant. And if I have to come back and remove some others, let's see here. So this is a little bit more of the pure green. And as you can see, exposing more of the variegated variety there. That one's growing out that way. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one. I'm gonna work my way through the jungle here to get to the back of the terrace to kind of see what's going on. Okay, this is all variegated here. Wow, microphone recovered. Wow, this is the furthest I've been back in here since I planted this stuff. Okay, so I was gonna cut that one off that was going that direction, but I noticed that it was so like leggy, you know, so kind of spindly, that I was able to push it out. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Look at this. It's coming out right here. So it's oriented the wrong way, right? But I think it can turn and start to grow up now. Wow. I have not been back there in, like I said, since I planted that stuff. That's wild. I just happened to look down and see the little green light on my microphone laying down in there. So I think there's some promise for the variegated dwarf umbrella plant for this section of the garden. This is basically what I was trying to expose right here. The variegated variety of the dwarf umbrella. So they've kind of crisscrossed, you know. This one became dominant. This one kind of got pushed back into the shadows a little bit. So I think this will be a good start to get this one to start to fill in this area. So I can kind of get a little bit variety in this instead of just having this pure green one go crazy. It needed trimming anyway, don't get me wrong. And then, as you can see, I went ahead and took the tip off of this one just for the fact that I want to encourage some side growth on that and to fill this in. Heck, this might start to actually grow a little bit that way and challenge the pure green one for a little bit of real estate on the front part of the jungle after being relegated to the back for so long. I guess we can say goodbye to a little bit of the all green Schefflera to allow the variegated variety to spread out a little more, you know, let it live too. And I think it'll give a little bit more variety, you know, a little better look to my garden as well. Maybe if I crawl back there again, I could find another very thin, flexible little offshoot of that variegated variety that I can push back the other direction. I don't know if I want to go back in there today. Okay, that's all for today. I thank you once again for joining me here at Jungleland 805 on YouTube, and I will see you next time.